In this video, I'm going to go over the base Sado class and database connection. Um, I have the new package downloaded here. I'm going to edit this file and just rename it and open it up. Here is just a basic Sado objects that extends the base class. Here's my database connection properties. So I can set my database credentials here and a name for my database connection, which is useful when logging. And here I'm going to add a variable to set up logging for this connection. It's just UDF log. I'm going to say example logger. I'm going to call that. And this is going to be able to set up logging for this connection. So down here I'm going to set up that function. Which is going to take in logging messages from the connection class. I'm going to have my log here. I'm going to add messages to the log, and then I'm just going to always return the log in case I need to use it. That's the basic setup for the connection. That's all I really need to do for right now. So now I'm going to connect to the database in an example file. Here I'm going to want to get my connection class, and there's multiple ways to instantiate the connection class that we have. The easiest way to do it is just to set new object. Like so, and I can run a select straight from here. For these examples, I'm going to use this basic users table. It just has 4 fields: user ID, full name, email, and is active field. So if I want to select those records, I can say so I just want to print that record sets out. So if I load that up here, you can see it just pulls it right out of the database. Now to enable the logging, we can go back here, and I can also print out the log, show what's going on with the connection. So I can say, I think it was example. Okay, I can fix that real quick. Okay, so here you can see connection's ready, connection is successful, execute query. We can also, it's a good idea to close a connection. So back in our example, we can tell database to close itself. And now we will see database connection closed. Now if we go back here and remove this section where we don't query the database, refresh, you'll notice in the log there's no connection ever really made to the database. This is very useful because you're not wasting any resources by connecting to a database if you don't really call any query. So unless you call a method that requires an execution of a query, calling a storage procedure, a connection to the database is never really made. Inserting records are very easy. To insert, all I can do is say I want to first use my table name. I want to say the fields I want to insert. So in this I'm going to say okay, so go back to my page, and it's inserted. You can see here where the insert's being completed in our log. Go back to users table, and there's the new name. Updating is just as easy. This is say update table name, what we want to change. So in this change, I'm going to change the full name. And the last array is going to be the arguments. So I'm going to say where the full name equals our new name. To run that, updated, you can see in the log it's being updated. That database table, it's updated. We can also delete the same way. It's in this case, it's the table name and the arguments for delete. So we're going to change delete where another name. Test that. It's deleting, and it's deleted. Those are the most common methods used on the connection class. A couple other or a couple common properties are used are going to be DB affected rows. So this can be called to get the number of rows that are affected by an update, say. There's also error, which will be the error string if an error occurs. So you can always check. If you did a db select say if error echo your error. There's also you can get the number of rows in a record set. So on a select, you can say if basically if there's records returned or received from the query, then it's going to be a flag that there's records, and you can loop through the records, whatever you want to do. When inserting, if you insert records with the db insert, you can get the insert ID with the get insert ID method, which will be the last ID from the insert. You can run manual queries with the query method. So you can just use query call from users. The query builder is also handy for building selects. On this method, you could say select all from users where we'd say user ID is 4.3 get error. Oops. So you can see that's just an easy way to build queries using the query builder. You can also make your values for queries safe. SQL injection attacks. This is done with just db safe. So any value that you want to make safe for auto escaping can be done with the safe method. You can also easily call store procedures. So you can say call store procedures name, and then any arguments would be a single. That would be a single argument passed to the store procedure or function, and that's automatically escape. Multiple arguments, just put an array. And pass them as many arguments as you want for the store procedure or function. Okay, as I said earlier, there's multiple ways to set the connection. And here we're simply, stating new connection. There's an easier way to do this, however. Back in our connection class here, a good idea is to register this connection, especially when using ORM class. So we're going to say Sado factory. We're going to add the connection name. So now back in our example, instead of setting it like this, we just say we want to get our connection, and it's going to work the same. And we can also say Sado factory close all, and that's going to close every database connection that's open instead of calling them each individually. This comes in useful, like I said, when using ORM, and you can also use multiple connections in the ORM classes and define what connection you want to use for the ORM object. So the best way to use this is just to register the connections through the Sado factory. And that's how to use the base Sado class and database connection.